Vasco da Gama came back to India for the second time in the year 1501 and he set up a trading center at Kannanur. C-A-N-N-A-N-O-R-E. So he set up a factory at Kannanur and he also established a trade link between the Calicut, Kannanur and Cochin and emerged as a significant Portuguese center in India. Okay. And Arabs who were existing at that time and had a trade relationship between them, they began to feel jealous. And even the rise and the success of the Portuguese and the local king Zamarin, they arose a hostility between them. That means the opposition arose between them. Okay, and later on the military face to face. That means the war take place, and the king Zamarin was defeated by the Portuguese, and this victory over Zamarin led the military superiority of the Portuguese in India, and like this the Portuguese established their power in India after bringing down Zamarin, that means the king of Calicut, down from the power. Now we'll study about the rise of Portuguese power in India. How did they establish their power in India? So after they got the permission from Zamarin, that is the king of Calicut, permission to trade in India, what happened? Okay, as the trade increased, it is also necessary for the Portuguese to organize it properly. So they appointed, that is the Portugal government appointed Francisco de Almeida, okay, as a governor to look after the provinces of India, okay, that is to control and trade in India. And this Francisco de Almeida's aim was to establish the Portuguese power in India, that is over the seas, and also to confine, that means have the relationship with the Indians only on the basis of the business, that's all. Okay, so he never had any interest in extending or establishing the power in the east. Okay, so for soon he destroyed the fleet, that means a group of ship. Fleet is known as a group of ship. Soon he destroyed the fleet of the Zamarin. Zamarin, as you all know, he is the one who welcomed the Portuguese, that is Vasco da Gama, and he enabled them to trade in India also. So this Vasco da Gama, later on he destroyed the fleet of Zamarin, who was so nice with him, and he made the Raja of Cochin as a puppet and built a small fortress and held the control of this Calicut and Cochin under his control. So that is one of the reasons. Secondly, in 1509, Albuquerque was appointed as a governor of India, and after he ascended, that means after he came as a second Portuguese viceroy of India in 1509, he also had played a very important role in establishing the Portuguese power in India. Actually, he was a very ambitious and a diplomatic person, okay, and he wanted to strengthen the Portuguese power in India. And actually the real power, that means the real the power of the Portuguese began from his rule, okay. And coming to his contribution, it is said that he had conquered Goa from the Sultan of Bijapur, which is a prosperous port, and he made, that is Albuquerque made this Goa as his administrative center, okay. And during his 6 years of his stay in India, it is said that he captured several places, that is he captured Goa, Diu, that is from the Gujarat rulers, and he also appointed Hindus, okay, the Hindus in the administrative office. And also in order to strengthen his position, in order to strengthen the position of the Portuguese power in India, he encouraged, that means he encouraged the officers of his that is the Portuguese, to marry the Indian women. Okay, this actually he did in order to increase the population of the Portuguese in India. Okay, and also he also recruited, that means he appointed the Indians in the regular army, okay, that is the Indian soldiers, that means Indian people were employed in the army. And he also strengthened the various regions like Goa. Okay, and later on Goa emerged as one of the important Portuguese colony in the east, and it remained with them till 1961. Though we received independence, though we achieved independence in the year 1947 from the British, it is said that the Goa remained with the Portuguese until 1961. So the governors who succeeded Albuquerque, they acquired Diu, Daman, Salisat, Basin, Chaul and Mumbai on the west coast, and Santham, that is near Chennai, and Hooghly in Bengal by the end of the 16th century. But soon they disappeared from India and their settlement were occupied by the Dutch. Later on they passed on it to the hand of the English. And it is said that Salisbury, that is Bombay and Basin, was occupied by the Marathas, and Goa, Diu and Daman continued to be under the control of the Portuguese till 1961. The causes for the decline of the Portuguese power in India. What are the reasons for the Portuguese to lose their power in India? As you all learned that they had expanded, that means they had held control over the places on like Goa, Diu, Daman, Salisbury, Basin, Chaul, Santham and Hooghly. Okay, so with the extension of their empire, their responsibility also increases. But the successors, that is after Albuquerque, those who had ascended and those who had come to power to look after the Portuguese power in India, were not competent. That means they were not able to enough to control over on these places. Okay, that means they were incompetent enough to stand with the increasing responsibility. And secondly, when the administration, that means when these officers, when they did not administer their work, what happened? The administration weakened. Okay, and thus you could see that most of the officers emerged. It means they were incompetent and they were also become corrupt. Okay, and everywhere they could see the corruption was become rampant, and thus these Portuguese were treated with the disrespect. Okay, and further these Portuguese who were Christians, they tried to convert the natives. That means they tried to convert the people of Goa into Christianity. So this is also one of the reasons for the Portuguese to lose their power in India. They tried to convert the natives of Goa to Christianity. Okay, which most of the natives, they did not like it. Okay. Further, Albuquerque, though a diplomatic, okay, he did not, that means he began to persecute, that means he did not treat the Muslims properly. He treated unfairly. So this is also one of the reason for the Portuguese to lose their power in India. And further, the Portuguese in Goa, they were destroying many of the Hindu temples, and even in the ground of, that means in the year 1504. So this also had become one of the reasons for their losing their popularity in India. With the downfall of the Vijayanagara Empire, as you all know that Battle of Rakasatangadi, the Vijayanagara Empire declined, and this led to the emergence of the Bahmani. Okay. Further, the Bahmani disintegrated into 5 divisions. So this disunity was also advantageous to the Portuguese. But soon the Mughal came to power, and Shah Jahan, he drew the Portuguese from Bengal. Okay, you know that Portuguese had also established their power in Bengal. Okay, so they felt that after the disintegration of the Bahmani rulers, they were able to rule. That means they were able to control these provinces. But immediately the Mughal rulers had become very powerful, and Shah Jahan drew this Portuguese from Bengal. Thus, Mughal supremacy was also one of the reasons for the blow of the Portuguese power in India. And further, this Portugal, that is, as you all know, it is a very small state, and it could not, as a small state, it did not get a lot of support from the Portugal government, and they found it very difficult to conquer a greater part of India and control. Further, in the year 1580, Philip II of Spain, okay, he got Portugal temporarily merged with the Spain, okay, but these rulers, they did not pay much attention to the Portuguese interest. As you all know, as they have merged, it is the interest of the ruler that to see the control over the other regions also. But these rulers of the Spain, that means the Spain Philip II ruler, he did not pay much attention to the interest of the Portuguese power in India. Later on, they appointed the Spanish officers to the places where they had established their control, but most of these officers are found corrupt, and they did not show much interest in the Portuguese affairs, that means in the matter of the Portuguese. So this is also one of the reasons for the Portuguese to lose their power in India. So in the beginning, these Portuguese had only the Arabs as a rival, that means in the trade. But later on, the coming of the Dutch, that means the Britishers and the Dutch also had come to India. They were trying to reach through the naval force, that means they tried to reach through water, and thus these Portuguese, did not had a strong naval force. So this is also one of the reasons they did not had a strong naval force to face the Dutch and the English. So this posed a challenge to the Portuguese rule in India. Further, by this time, the Portuguese had occupied a vast area in India, but since they had conquered, that means they had control over the Brazil, that is in South America, they had conquered, that means they had shifted their interest to that region, and slowly they declined, that means they declined their interest on the regions of India. So the establishment of power, that means the power in South America, that is in the Brazil, it is also one of the reasons for the Portuguese to lose their power in India. Thus we can say that the Portuguese, who were the first among the Europeans to come India, they were the last to go. As I told earlier, they had established their control in most of the south western part of India, but Goa, Diu, Daman remained with them till the year 1965. For the liberation of Goa from them, the Indian force, that means the Indian army, had to fight with them. Okay, further, later on in 1961, the Indian army invaded and liberated it from the Portuguese.